She won't miss you because you bought her flowers. She won't miss you because you said, "I love you" one too many times. And she definitely won't miss you just because you shared a summer, a song, or a memory that now lives only in your phone's photo gallery. No, she'll miss you forever. Only when you become the kind of man who doesn't need her to stay whole. And here's the brutal truth most people never see. Longing isn't created by what you give. It's created by what you withhold with purpose. Think about it. When someone disappears from your life, but leaves behind a void so deep it echoes in your chest for months. Was it because they were loud? Needy? Always around? No. It was because they carried something rare. Something calm, consistent, and quietly unshakable. Something you couldn't quite grasp, and now can't replicate. This isn't manipulation. This is mastery. And over 2,000 years ago, the Stoics cracked the code. True power doesn't come from chasing love. It comes from becoming so aligned with your own purpose that love chases you, even after you've walked away. In this video, you'll discover the 9 silent traits, the invisible forces, that make someone unforgettable not through drama, but through dignity. Not through begging, but through boundaries. Not through clinging, but through calm, unwavering self-respect. If you've ever felt disposable, if you've poured your heart into someone who barely noticed, if you've wondered why the people who treat you worst are the ones you can't forget, this is your reset button. Stay with me until the end, because point number 7 flips everything you think about moving on completely upside down. And it's the one most men never master. And hey, if you're ready to stop being the option and start being the standard, hit subscribe. Because what we're about to unpack doesn't just change relationships, it changes how you move through the world. Now, let's begin. 1. Your silence. Most men think being missed is about saying the right thing, about crafting the perfect text, leaving a heartfelt voicemail, or explaining themselves one last time. But here's what they don't realize. The most haunting presence is often the one that says nothing at all. Silence isn't emptiness, it's precision. It's the space where curiosity grows wild. When you stop over-explaining, stop justifying your worth, stop filling every quiet moment with noise, you become a question she can't stop trying to answer. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, not for applause, but for clarity. He didn't broadcast his struggles. He contained them. And in that containment, he cultivated unshakable inner order. That's the power of silence. It signals control, not coldness, but calm command over your own energy. Think about the last time someone walked away without drama. No accusations. No, "You'll regret this." Just quiet resolve. Didn't that linger in your mind longer than any argument ever could? Modern culture rewards oversharing. We're taught to confess, to vent, to spill our emotions like currency. But emotional transparency without boundaries isn't vulnerability, it's volatility. And volatility is forgettable. People remember stability wrapped in mystery far more than chaos wrapped in honesty. When you master your silence, you stop giving away your internal state like free samples. You let your actions speak and your absence echo. She starts replaying moments, wondering what you were thinking, why you stayed so composed, whether you even cared. And that mental loop, that's where longing is born. But be warned, this isn't about playing games. Stoic silence isn't manipulation. It's self-respect in motion. It's choosing not to waste your depth on someone who hasn't earned the full story. So ask yourself, are you speaking to connect or to be seen? Because the man who speaks only when it matters. He doesn't just leave a room, he leaves an imprint. Look at your recent messages with her. If you are the one constantly filling the silence, you are giving away your power. I challenge you right now. Type "silence is power" in the comments if you're ready to stop over-explaining and reclaim your composure. Let's see who is actually ready to master this. 2. Your discipline. Let's be brutally honest. Most people are emotionally reactive. They wake up feeling off, and their entire day collapses around that mood. Someone texts them coldly, and suddenly they're spiraling. A relationship hits turbulence, and they either implode in neediness or explode in anger. But you're building something different. Discipline is the quiet rebellion against emotional chaos. And it's the second reason she'll miss you forever, because you lived by standards, not feelings. The Stoics didn't believe in waiting to feel motivated to do what's right. Epictetus, born a slave, taught that while we can't control what happens to us, we always control how we respond. That's discipline, choosing your code over your comfort every single time. Imagine this. She watches you wake up at 5 a.m. not because someone asked you to, but because you made a promise to yourself. She sees you turn down distractions, skip petty drama, and stay focused, even when you're hurting. You don't cancel your goals because your heart's bruised. You don't abandon your integrity because she's distant. That kind of consistency? It's magnetic, not in a flashy way, but in a deep, unsettling way. Because deep down, she knows. You're not ruled by her presence or absence. You're ruled by something far stronger, your own word. And here's the twist. Discipline isn't rigid. It's not about being cold or robotic. It's about showing up as your highest self, even when no one's watching. Especially when no one's watching. That's what makes your absence so loud. She doesn't just miss you. She misses the version of herself she became when she was near someone who refused to shrink. People forget grand gestures, but they never forget the man who stayed steady while the world wobbled. So ask yourself, if she saw your daily routine, your choices, your habits, your non-negotiables, would she see someone who's easy to replace or impossible to replicate? Right now, you are either building yourself up or letting yourself slide. There is no middle ground. Drop a comment below with "impossible to replicate" if you are choosing discipline over comfort today. I want to see who in this community is actually building standards, not just watching videos. 3. Your focus. Here's a truth most people ignore. Attention is the ultimate currency of respect. And when you redirect yours from her approval to your mission, you don't just change your life. You rewrite how she sees you forever. Most men orbit women like satellites, adjusting their mood, schedule, and self-worth based on a single text, glance, or tone of voice. But the man who's missed, he orbits something far greater, his purpose. The Stoics called this prohairesis, your moral will, your inner compass. It's the part of you that chooses what deserves your energy, regardless of external validation. Seneca wrote, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." In other words, without focus, every emotion becomes a storm. When she sees you building something, whether it's a business, a craft, your character, or even peace within yourself, while she's stuck in emotional loops, it creates cognitive dissonance. She thought she knew you, but now you're moving while she's waiting. You're creating while she's analyzing. You're becoming while she's remembering. That shift is devastatingly attractive. Not because you're trying to impress her, but because you've stopped needing to. Focus isn't about ignoring people. It's about honoring your time too much to waste it on distractions disguised as connections. And when you do that consistently, people don't just admire you, they miss the clarity you carried into their chaos. Think about it. Have you ever lost respect for someone the moment they dropped everything just to chase your attention? Of course you have, because neediness erodes dignity. But focused ambition, even quiet, humble ambition, elevates it. So ask yourself, if she disappeared tomorrow, would your life derail or keep accelerating? Because the answer reveals whether you're living for love or leading with purpose. And here's the real kicker. The more focused you become, the less you care about being missed, and the more unforgettable you become. If your life would derail without her attention, you are chasing a ghost instead of your purpose. Stop orbiting and start leading. Comment "Mission First" below if you are locking in your focus from this moment on. Let the comment section know you're no longer a satellite. 4. You're calm. In a world that rewards emotional outbursts, hot takes, and dramatic reactions, your calm is your superpower. And it's the 4th reason she'll miss you long after you're gone. Not because you fought for her attention, but because you refused to lose your peace for it. Most people are emotionally porous. One harsh word, one cold shoulder, one moment of uncertainty, and they unravel. They text in panic. They demand answers. They perform sadness like it's a strategy. But you hold your center. The Stoics didn't see calm as passivity. They saw it as precision under pressure. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire during plague, war, and betrayal, and still wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That's not detachment from life. It's mastery over your inner weather. When chaos erupts, when she's upset, when things go sideways, when everyone else is spiraling, you don't match the energy. You lower it. You speak slower. You listen deeper. You don't take the bait. And that rewires how people experience you. Because deep down, everyone craves stability. Not perfection, but steadiness. And when you become the person who doesn't flinch at storms, you become the harbor they keep returning to in their mind, even if they sailed away from you in real life. Think about the last time someone stayed calm while you were falling apart. Didn't that moment stick with you? Didn't you feel safer, seen, even sobered by their composure? That's the imprint of true strength. But here's the warning. Calm isn't suppression. It's not bottling up pain or pretending you're fine. It's choosing not to weaponize your emotions. It's knowing that your peace is too valuable to trade for temporary validation. So ask yourself, when tension rises, do you rise with it or above it? Because the man who remains unshaken isn't just respected, he's remembered. Long after the drama fades, what lingers isn't what was said, but how you held yourself when nothing made sense. The next time chaos erupts around you, do not take the bait. Your peace is non-negotiable. If you are choosing to rise above the drama instead of sinking into it, comment "unshaken" right now. Let's see who holds the center when the world wobbles. 5. Your boundaries. Let's cut through the noise. You are not missed for what you tolerate. You're missed for what you refuse to accept. Most men confuse kindness with availability. They think saying yes makes them loved. But in truth, every time you ignore a red flag, overlook disrespect, or shrink yourself to keep someone comfortable, you teach her that your presence is cheap and easily replaced. Boundaries aren't walls. They're declarations. They say, I value myself too much to stay where I'm not honored. And that's exactly why they haunt people long after you're gone. The Stoics were fierce about this. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You can't claim self-mastery if you let others dictate your worth through inconsistent behavior, mixed signals, or emotional laziness. True freedom begins when you stop negotiating your dignity. Think about it. When was the last time someone walked away from you because you asked for basic respect? Didn't that sting, but also command a strange kind of awe? Because deep down, even those who cross boundaries know. The person who enforces them carries a quiet authority most will never possess. And here's what most miss. Boundaries aren't just about saying no. They're about living yes so fully that there's no room for half-hearted connections. You don't argue. You don't guilt trip. You simply remove your energy from spaces that drain it. That act alone creates a vacuum. She starts wondering, was I too careless? Did I take him for granted? Not because you made her feel guilty, but because your absence now feels like a verdict on her choices. And that's powerful. Not cruel, just clear. So ask yourself, are your boundaries firm enough that walking away feels like integrity, not punishment? Because the man who never begs, never settles, and never confuses longing with loyalty, he doesn't just leave a relationship, he leaves a standard. Stop letting people treat your presence like a free sample. If you are done negotiating your dignity and are ready to hold your standard, comment, "Never settle" below. Let me see who is reclaiming their power today. 6. Your detachment. This is where most men get it backwards. They think love means clinging, holding on tighter when things get hard, proving their devotion through sacrifice, or staying even when they're being treated like an option. But the Stoics taught something radically different. You can love deeply without depending desperately. And that's the 6th reason she'll miss you forever. Not because you held on, but because you loved without losing yourself. Detachment isn't coldness. It's clarity. It's understanding that your worth isn't tied to her choices, her moods, or even her presence in your life. You care, but you don't crumble. You connect, but you don't collapse. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When another blames you or hates you, or people say about you anything bad, go to their souls, penetrate inside and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you." That's detachment in action. Loving from a place of fullness, not lack. When you master this, something shifts. You stop chasing closure. You stop needing her to see your value. You offer your heart, but you don't beg for it to be kept. And that's terrifyingly attractive because it's rare. She'll remember how you looked her in the eye, spoke your truth, and walked away without bitterness. Not because you didn't care, but because you cared enough to protect your peace. And here's the paradox. The less you need someone to stay, the more they feel your absence when you're gone. Because you showed them what real love looks like. Not as a cage, but as a choice freely given. And freely withdrawn when respect fades. So ask yourself, are you attached to her? Or to the version of yourself you become when you're with her? Because if it's the latter, you've already won, even if she never comes back. True strength isn't holding on until you break. It's having the dignity to walk away whole. If you are choosing your peace over your attachment today, drop a comment with "peace over attachment" right now. Let's lock this mindset in. 7. Your growth. Here's the secret most people never confront. You are not missed for who you were. You're missed for who you became after they left. Most relationships end with someone stuck in the past, replaying what-ifs and clinging to old versions of themselves. But the man who's unforgettable? He doesn't freeze in grief. He evolves through it. The Stoics didn't see loss as an ending. They saw it as a forge. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Every heartbreak, every rejection, every silent night became fuel, not for bitterness, but for becoming. And that's what haunts her. She'll remember you not as the man who begged her to stay, but as the one who used her absence as a catalyst. While she assumed you'd crumble, you rebuilt. While she expected you to chase, you created. You didn't just move on, you moved up. This isn't about revenge, it's about revelation. Growth is the ultimate statement. I needed you once, but I needed myself more. Think about it. When someone you once knew resurfaces, not with anger or nostalgia, but with undeniable elevation, doesn't that shake something inside you? Not because they're showing off, but because their transformation silently asks, "Did you ever really see me?" That's the power of relentless self-betterment. It doesn't scream. It simply outgrows the need to be understood by those who couldn't witness your depth. So ask yourself, if she saw you today, after months of silence, after pain turned into purpose, would she recognize you? Or would your growth feel like meeting someone entirely new? Because here's the truth. The moment you prioritize your evolution over her validation, you become impossible to replicate and impossible to forget. And that's not arrogance, that's alignment. Rejection is just the fuel for your redirection. If you are using this moment to rebuild, elevate, and outgrow the past, comment, "Evolve through pain" right now. Let the world know you are turning your loss into your ultimate forge. 8. Your presence. In a world drowning in distraction, where people scroll through conversations, half listen to pain, and treat attention like an afterthought, your full presence becomes sacred. And it's the 8th reason she'll miss you forever. Not because you said something brilliant, but because you showed up like no one else ever did. Most men confuse physical proximity with presence. They're in the room, but their mind is on their phone, their next move, or how they're being perceived. But you? When you're with someone, you're with them, not performing, not waiting to speak, not mentally drafting your exit strategy. You listen like silence has texture. You see like eye contact is a language. The Stoics practiced prososche, constant attention to the present moment. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, confine yourself to the present. Not the past you're replaying, not the future you're fearing, just this breath, this person, this truth. And that kind of presence, it leaves fingerprints on the soul. She'll remember how you didn't rush her tears, how you didn't fix her pain. You held space for it. How you noticed the small things, the shift in her voice, the pause before she lied, the way she lit up talking about something only she cared about. Not because you were trying to win her, but because you honored the human in front of you. That's rare, and rarity lingers. But here's the key. Your presence isn't performative. It's not about being the good guy. It's about refusing to treat people as background noise in your own story. You meet others where they are, not where you want them to be. And that humility becomes unforgettable. So ask yourself, when you're with someone, are you truly there? Or just killing time until you feel seen? Because the man who offers undivided attention doesn't just connect, he imprints. And long after you've left, she'll catch herself searching for that depth in everyone else, and coming up empty. True depth cannot be faked, and rarity is never forgotten. If you are ready to stop chasing distractions, master your focus, and give your full presence to your life and mission, comment, "Confined to the present," below. Let's see who is truly locked in. 9. Your dignity. This is the final, non-negotiable piece, the crown of all the others. She won't miss you for your charm, your looks, or even your loyalty. She'll miss you because you walked away with your dignity intact. Most men confuse walking away with defeat. They leave angry, broken, or bitter, broadcasting their pain like a badge of honor. But the Stoic man, he departs with quiet power. No blame, no spectacle. No, you'll regret this. Just clarity, composure, and an unshakable sense of self-worth. Dignity isn't about pride. It's about alignment. It's refusing to let someone's inability to honor you turn you into someone you're not. As Seneca put it, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." But perfection here doesn't mean flawlessness. It means integrity under fire. When you walk away from what no longer serves you, not with rage, but with resolve, you send a silent message that echoes louder than any argument. I value myself too much to stay where I'm diminished. And that's what haunts her. Not your absence, but the grace with which you left. She'll replay your last conversation, not for what you said, but for what you didn't do. You didn't plead. You didn't insult. You didn't collapse. You stood tall in your truth, even if it meant standing alone. That kind of strength doesn't just end a chapter. It rewrites the entire story in her mind. Because deep down, she knows, people like you don't come around often, and when they leave with dignity, they take something irreplaceable with them. Not just their presence, but the mirror they held up to her own choices. So ask yourself, if your departure were a legacy, would it whisper weakness or wisdom? Because the man who walks away with his soul unshaken doesn't just close a door. He becomes a standard she'll measure every future connection against. Never trade your self-worth for someone else's validation. Walk away whole or don't walk away at all. If you are choosing dignity over drama from this day forward, comment "dignity intact" right now. Let the comment section know you hold the standard. She won't miss you for what you gave, but for who you became when you walked away. The Stoics knew true power lies not in chasing love, but in mastering yourself. Through silence, discipline, calm, boundaries, and unwavering dignity, you become unforgettable. Not by design, but by depth. You don't need her to validate your worth. Your presence speaks even in absence. And that's what lingers. Not grand gestures, but the quiet strength of a man aligned with his truth. If you are ready to claim this quiet strength, comment "sovereign" below to seal your commitment today. And if you refuse to let modern chaos dictate your worth, hit that subscribe button right now. Join a community of men who choose power over dependency. Thanks for watching. Stay grounded, stay sovereign, and remember, you are not here to be chosen. You are here to choose yourself again and again.